morning, and welcome back to Day 3 recap for the Arizona Trail 800 Mile Showdown. Excited to be back today. We've got a lot of drama unfolding, so we are going to get right into it and give you guys all of the updates. Whoops, my bad. Give you guys all the updates here today. So we are going to start out. We don't have any live updates from the trail as of yet. We've sent out the call to the team. But we're going to start with where are they at today. And so if you want to track their progress, greatwesternadventures.com. Let's first head up to Flagstaff, check in on Mike McKnight. And so what you'll notice here, and don't be alarmed, if you've been following this morning, Mike, it shows he is off course, but he's actually on trail. So the Arizona Trail through Flagstaff actually has two routes. And so there is a more of a city route, or this is maybe a fire closure route. This recently reopened the normal route, and this is what Joe McConaughey went on up here. And so he did take the Arizona Trail north of Eldon in the Dry Lake Hills. They had a really bad fire up here earlier this summer, I think the Schultz fire. Yep. Pretty devastating fire. And so it opened up about 2 to 3 weeks ago. They kind of lifted. So he is actually still on track and moving well this morning. We'll get to more about Mike's day, but he is going to be clearing through Flagstaff today. That's the Mike update at the moment. Let's go take a look and see if we can find Ben. His tracker was having some issues. We'll see if it's been updated. It looks like it's still stuck near... yeah, it's currently showing him kind of above Reddington. This was 7 a.m. it says. So I don't think... This is obviously a little bit out of date here at this point in time. I did get potentially word from Brandon, our videographer out there, that it says he left mile 183 at 5:40 a.m. But now I'm thinking, is that 163? If this is an accurate ping, does that make sense?
I mean, it could. I was under the impression that he was at Summerhaven. This is still quite
right.
Midway through the climb.
So his crew texted me mile 183 at 5:40 a.m. heading to Marshall Gulch Waypoint, which would be at the top of Summerhaven.
Right.
I thought he was maybe already up there, but it's possible that this shows that he's not near there at all yet. So we're a little bit in the dark on Ben at the moment, but it looks like if this tracking waypoint is accurate, he is now on the climb up into the Catalinas at the moment. So we'll get to more about their day. We're going to move real quick and show you guys a little about Ben's day yesterday. We have a couple clips with some music, and we'll play that now. So this has been heading up into Saguaro National Park. He had a pacer yesterday, someone local, and then here he is. I believe this shot was him maybe leaving Reddington at 1 a.m. That's maybe why we think he might be up there, is because he left at 1 a.m. and then he left at 5 a.m. from someplace else. So we're a little confused as to where he is right now. But you can see him 1 a.m. I think he got some sleep and rest. And there he is. Looks a little breezy out there.
does look a little breezy and also a little bit overgrown, which has been a trend, I think, for Bent so far.
Nice. Well, shout out to Brandon for those shots again, kind of bringing you guys some inside look there. Let's see. Let's go to the chat real quick. Lindsay McDonald corrected us. It was the pipeline fire. The Schultz fire, I think, was maybe about 12 years ago in the same area, but it is the area of Schultz Pass. So let's take a look at Mike's day yesterday. And so this is over on his Strava. He put up a monster day yesterday. Oh, what's up?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, my bad. There we go. Thank you. Bryce has got my back here. So this is Mike's third day, and he did have some mishaps yesterday. So the biggest one was his crew could not get to him. So he had roughly a 35-mile stretch, about 7 hours on the trail with little to no water. I believe he pulled from a stock tank at one point, which is not uncommon on the Arizona Trail.
Yeah, I'm imagining they both have filters.
And, he didn't have many calories with him. But I think the more concerning issue for Mike at the moment is his ankle and shin pain. So he did roll his ankle 3 to 4 weeks ago before this challenge started. And that pain is getting worse at the moment. So he's still putting in these big 60-plus 100K days. But, man, that has got to be taxing.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, about 200 miles in, 600 miles to go is a daunting task on its own, let alone on a hurt leg.
Yeah, like pain every step, I'm sure. Here's some of the muddy trails and roads that he encountered yesterday. And, ooh, look at those snow-capped peaks. That is beautiful.
That is. Looks a little chilly, actually.
Yeah, for sure. So let's just stay on Mike real quick for the moment. We're going to go ahead and pull up his stories. I don't know. Can you guys hear this? Let me know if you guys can hear this audio. If not, it would be no audio. So basically his crew is telling us, that was his wife Sarah, that they're having a tough time getting to him. And here, this is just about a mile before he hit his crew. You could see some of the conditions out there. And he finally did meet up with the van, and here's his son running up to him. This is one of the stock tanks that he did pull from, so at least there was water out there, and that's why you always want to carry a filter with you anytime you're out on the Arizona Trail.
And probably a packet of lemonade if you're trying to drown the taste of that right there.
It's like it may be safe to drink, but maybe not appetizing.
Yep. Probably had a little tint to it, I would imagine. That is a very long way to go on one gel packet. So for anybody who wasn't here yesterday, Mike basically told us it was so muddy that his crew was unable to access him at several points, and he ended up doing a 35-mile stretch. I think we talked to him when he was about 15 miles into it, with no food resupply, just that one gel. And like you were saying, if anybody can do it, it's Mike. Yeah,
but that's going to, the last thing you want to do is carve out a deficit in something this long. You always want to be topped up. So you can see there he's getting topped up a bit, and this is just painful to look at. So this was posted just today. Pretty bad pain in his lower left shin. They're not able to figure this out at the moment. You can see these things are not easy, and we're really feeling for Mike here. He's really trying to push through this and see what happens, and I think anything could happen at this point. I mean,
it's still early enough where, it wouldn't be out of the ballpark to say he could have a massive comeback.
Yes.
But that does not look ideal.
No, just considering, I don't think we saw in the Racing Arizona documentary Joe in this kind of condition at all on the trail.
With that being said, I know Joe went opposite, so it's kind of hard to compare mileage. But I mean, day 3 already at like basically Flagstaff. Like that's he's moving well.
He's definitely 200 plus miles in right now. So he's putting in big days. And the one thing I noticed, his elapsed time, his miles are definitely easier than Ben's right now. I think we just know that collectively. Ben is going through some rough miles in Southern Arizona, and he knew that. He knew that he wanted to get those tough miles out of the way early, and he's pushing the candle on all ends right now.
Sure.
Longer days, barely sleeping, and we'll see some of that here in a minute.
There was, I think he posted, there's a most recent post. I wonder if there's any caption on that. Here it is.
Just past the 200-mile mark. This pretty much sums up my experience so far. If you believe in a higher power, I'd appreciate some prayers right now. That's absolutely brutal. Let's see if there's anything else from the team following. This is something else from Three Peaks.
Grand Canyon post? Is that new?
There we go. So, that was just someone who saw Mike yesterday. We can get rid of that one. Nothing new from Sarah. Let's see if Derek's got anything new here. Got some critters of the Arizona Trail. Derek is the videographer following Mike. Okay, that looks like nothing else relevant. Let's head over to Ben, I guess, would be the next one. So there are actually some great stories shared from Brittany. They're both using, we got to shout out Mountain Ops. They're both using Mountain Ops products. And if you guys want to help support this coverage, head over to Mountain Ops website. We have a link in the description of this video. There's 20% off coupon code, either south to north, all caps, or north to south, depending on if you're cheering for Mike or Ben. Looks like they're using a lot of the same themes. They got pancakes and maple syrup and some collagen mix from Mountain Ops. It looks like there is some good trail support down in Tucson. A bunch of kids out there came out to see Ben. This was about 8 hours ago, so mile 128. That was probably before the big climb.
There's where he got his pacer.
Yep. I think that was at Lee, maybe. I forget the name. At Adventure 71. We saw him, I think, yesterday morning on the live stream briefly.
Yep.
Here's some of Ben's fueling.
Pancakes and tacos.
So tacos, this is Reddington Road at the end of day 3, and it looks like 3 hours of sleep for him. So, yeah, I'm trying to piece it together. I think he got to Reddington, slept for 3 hours, and I believe he left there at 1 a.m. We're just not sure how far he got after that. Brian came out, it looks like. And also, this was Sabino Canyon Hike and Run.
Brian. Cool. Well, it's good to know they have a little company. I think that would help a lot, like mentally, especially.
Absolutely. And getting the local community out there to kind of show them the way. This is the Rincon Wilderness spiders.
More
from
spiders.
The crew view. Okay, so he left Reddington at 1:40 a.m., making it to 167. That was 13 miles. So I think he's still climbing up to Mount Lemmon right now.
Okay.
This is from Brittany last night. So if you want to see a little bit of insight, Ben was kind of losing his mind here a little bit. He's just talking in circles, it felt like, a little bit. You definitely should go check that one out over at Shot by Stutz. You gotta love that trail food. That probably tastes so good.
Those are some good shots. Yep. That seems about right.
It's like a dozen egg omelet almost.
Yeah.
All right, who do we got here? Looks like we got Mike potentially checking in here in a second. We might switch to that if he comes in. Mike, if you can hear us, go ahead and unmute yourself. We don't see your video yet. Oh, and then this is Ben talking about how tough it is in southern Arizona. This was this morning at mile 167. Still looking for company. So let's switch over. Mike, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
How's it going out there?
Could be better, but we're still moving.
Right on. It looks like you are making your way around Mount Eldon right now. Is your crew waiting ahead?
Yeah, they're about a mile ahead at Sandy
Seep?
Yeah.
Right on. We can't see your video. Is there any way you can try and turn that on? There we go.
Oh, awesome.
There he is. It looks like you're moving well. Is your shin pain still pretty debilitating? Has it resolved itself in any way?
It's better than it was last night, but not as good as it was when I started yesterday.
Right on. Do you have any pacers coming out today that you know of?
Not that I know of, but this is my crew. Scott, he's with me for a little bit.
Oh, right on. What's the weather like up there right now?
It's perfect. Sunny and probably 60s or something.
Nice.
Mike, how are the trail conditions for you, especially running through that area where you might have hit some burn zone?
It's been real. Yesterday was really muddy. Like, it was either just really muddy or dried out and uneven. I don't know. I ran into like 4 through hikers yesterday, and every single one of them was having shin issues too. So I don't know if it's just the conditions of the trail, since it's not just me that's having issues.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, maybe. I mean, there was probably a lot of mud like caked on your shoes up there in that Babbitt Ranch section.
Yeah, it was either caked mud or rutted out from vehicles, so it was just like uneven and off camber quite a bit yesterday.
Better trail conditions where you're at currently?
Yeah, so far.
Nice. I think you'll be merging with the Cocodona course pretty soon. That'll be kind of cool to relive some of those miles. Maybe.
Yeah, I think the next section is taking me to Walnut Canyon.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the section after that.
Yeah, you'll probably be heading, I think, under the 89 pretty soon.
Yeah, so yeah, I think where I'm meeting my crew is where the Cocodona course is.
Nice. Well, you got a lot of support here in the chat. People are rooting on for you, encouraging you to keep on moving along the trail.
Thanks. How's Ben doing?
He looks like he's a little bit out of his mind right now. I don't think he's getting as much sleep as you are. He's burning the candle a little bit longer. He's currently, from what we can tell, climbing up towards the top of Mount Lemmon, so he might be a little behind schedule. But it looks like Brittany is maybe checking in here with us in a minute. But yeah,
what mile is Mount Lemmon for him?
The top would be 185, and his tracker was having a little issues yesterday, so we're not entirely sure, but we'll probably find out from Brittany real quick where he's at. So yeah, maybe you can stay tuned in and listen in on that part.
Okay, I will.
Awesome.
Thanks.
All right, we'll check in with Brittany real quick.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Brittany?
Good
Hey,
morning.
Brittany. How are you?
Good. We didn't have service at 9:30 yet, so sorry about that.
No worries. It's perfect timing. We just checked in with Mike. He's actually running again right now, so
yeah.
that's great to see.
Is his shin feeling better?
He said slightly better than last night, but not as good as yesterday morning. The interesting thing, he did say he saw 4 other thru hikers yesterday, and they all said they're having the same thing, like with shin pain. So maybe it's due to the muddy conditions.
Maybe it's what did you say?
The muddy
It's in the
conditions. The mud.
Oh, yeah. So, I do body work like for athletes, and anytime it snows or rain or mud, that's a very common thing because you're having to work so much harder to stabilize.
Well, so hopefully it looks like the trail conditions are better today, so hopefully that can resolve some of his issues. Where is Ben at right now? We're having a little tough time comprehending kind of where his yesterday and his evening went.
Yeah, I noticed the tracker didn't update both this afternoon and last night. This morning, finally at 6:30, it updated. Right now we are at Marshall Gulch, mile 187, and I expect him in about 50 minutes.
Okay. Awesome. So that's up near Summerhaven at the top of Mount Lemon. Uh-oh, we just lost Brittany maybe. Okay, so that confirms it at least that he should be up to the top, up to the summit pretty quick.
Right on.
Oh, there they are.
Hey,
There
we're
you are.
back. So that's the top of
back.
Mount Lemon, right?
Is this? I don't know. I'm sorry.
You're up in the pine trees, it looks like. So is there...
Yes,
Yeah.
we're in the pines, and it's a little...
She's cutting in and out a little bit here.
Yeah, I do think the service is a little in and out when you're up there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, so it looks like you guys are up near the top of Summerhaven, the little community up there. How has Ben faring out there right now?
He's, I mean, all the normal, probably tired and hurt. Some things on his feet, some blisters are popping up.
It's going to be in and out.
Yeah.
He said at the last aid station when I saw him this morning, he said he's having a hard time keeping an FKT pace, but not blowing himself up as well. And so, I mean, that's part of the game. But he's decided that he's going to take the sections at 30 miles at a time and then sleep. And just wanted to we lost him again.
We're kind of hearing you in and out. He sounds like he's going to take it 30 miles at a time and take a sleep break.
Yes, he's just trying to figure out the balance. So he's decided to do these bigger pushes because the climbs are pretty gnarly in those 30 miles. And then sleep. He slept last night for a solid 3 hours and woke up feeling a lot better. So he's going to try to.
Nice. Well, that sounds great. I think my advice to Ben would be get up and over Mount Lemon, and the terrain is going to flatten out quite a bit for the next 100 miles or so.
Yep.
So don't count it out. I think, right now the pace is going to be a little slower due to the terrain.
Yep. And also, I mean, those grasses are going to thin out through that section as well. That's pretty flat desert, not a lot of vegetation going on.
Yeah. Not as much rain out there. So, yeah, keep the faith out there.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, we do have a question. Where does Bob come from? If you can hear us. A trainer named Bob is her Instagram handle.
Oh, Levi's.
We may have to come back to that. All right. Well, let's check back in with Mike real quick. Mike, we've got you back pulled up if you want to give us any more thoughts for today. Otherwise, we'll send you off on your way if you want to turn your sound and video back on briefly. Oh, and he just dropped off completely.
All right.
Oh my.
Can you hear us, Brittany?
I can hear you.
Awesome. Yeah, we just had a question. Where does Bob come from in your name?
What was that?
Your Instagram handle is a trainer named Bob. We just had a question. Where's the Bob come from?
Yeah, that's a nickname my niece gave me over 25 years ago, and it's stuck, and it's very endearing. So anyone that calls me Bob, I know is close.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, we're going to head out for today, but we'll hopefully check in with you tomorrow.
Thank you. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it.
Best of luck today.
Thanks, Brittany.
All right. There you have it. We got brief check-ins from both. Anything else that you wanted to talk about today, Bryce?
Since they're on top of Mount Lemon, I've just been thinking about fudge all morning long just because they have great fudge up there at the general store. But the general thoughts about more important things, the Arizona Trail Showdown. I mean, they're both about 200 miles-ish into it, about a fourth of the way through, and it seems like they're both feeling it kind of in different ways. It's going to be interesting to see how they both play out, and hopefully, I mean, it seems like they both went out really hot, and now maybe they're feeling it a little more physically, and hopefully they can both recover from that. And
yeah, hopefully it levels out a little bit for each of them. I was highly encouraged to see Mike running like he was.
He was moving fast.
That was surprising, just seeing the images of him even from this morning. It's like tough to see that.
Right.
But I'm hoping, even as Brittany said, I think maybe those shin issues were amplified due to the muddy, wet conditions.
Yep.
So hopefully as things continue to dry out, I think the trail is a lot better and like more packed in these next 100, 200 miles. So hopefully it gives him time to recover. He's still ahead of record pace.
Yep.
And he can keep it going.
Yeah, just thinking about that, a little anecdote is I had terrible shin pain as soon as we went through the Grand Canyon. So I think that could also have something to do with it, going from so flat to so down, so steep up, and then you're back on flat for a while. Just that weird change in elevation. I know it affected me, so I mean I could definitely see how moving that fast on it, there would be some residual.
Yep. And yeah, I also think for Ben, it sounds like he's getting maybe a little mentally discouraged right now with being maybe a little behind pace. But hopefully he can make that up soon.
Yeah, and he's not too behind pace. He's still going through tough sections. If you're around and looking for a hike in the next few days, I think both of these guys would really appreciate some company out there.
Yeah, it'll make the miles fly by easier. To head out there alone while you're tired is daunting, and to help keep them on track too.
Right.
Be huge. We saw, even with Joe setting the record, having Whit with him for so much of the experience was just huge for him, I'm sure.
Yep. The crew is a massive part of this, and it seems like both Ben and Mike have very dialed in crews. It's cool to see. Hopefully they're getting sleep.
Yeah, we have a question here from Zach Smith. At this point of the race, how crucial is nutrition during recovery and during the race? I don't know if we actually still have Brittany here. Maybe she can pop in. Maybe popped out again. Sorry. What would you say on that part? I mean, I think it's extremely important.
It's almost everything. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not possible unless you have done some pre-planning as far as that goes. You can't. This isn't an attempt you can just kind of go out and send with a few like goop in your pocket.
Well, yeah, we saw that with Mike yesterday.
I guess.
Unfortunately, I was just listening to the Billy Yang podcast yesterday. They had Joe McConaughey on. He was talking about his diet on the trail. And he was packing upwards of 8,000 calories a day into his body. And he said he liked to have, a lot of sports nutrition with him, whether that's chews or gels and things like that, but also getting those bigger hits and meals where it's like a couple thousand calories, get it in, and then keep on moving down the trail.
Yeah, and the pace they're going, I'm sure it's like borderline impossible to actually maintain and not be in a caloric deficit.
Yeah, I mean, I know that was true for myself. I packed 4,000 calories a day when I hiked the Arizona Trail. The first week, I didn't quite eat all of it. By week 2, I was eating all of it and pulling in stuff from week 1.
Yeah.
By the third week, I would eat 4,000 calories by lunch.
Right.
And then I lost 12 pounds in the first 21 days despite all of that.
Yep. Hiker hunger is real.
Yeah.
I lost over 20 pounds on the whole trail, so I can relate.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. Any other questions? Levi Light Gaming here in the chat says he'll be able to make it up in the flat part. That is a great point, and I think absolutely true.
I think so too. And it's going to be cooler weather and less grass.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, I think we're going to sign off for today. That is about a half hour of our show. We appreciate all of you. We have to thank Mountain Ops again. Go check out the discount code in the description. Keep an eye out for our merch shop opening soon, and we'll see you tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, for our next check-in on day 4.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Thank you, guys.